every Nintendo Switch 2 game. Bravely Default, game key card. Hitman, game key card. Hogwarts Legacy, game key card. Madden, game key card.
Hello everyone, this is Magbo speaking once again, and today I am back in Angry Guy's channel. Yep, once again, because we got some new news from Nintendo about the game key card, and unfortunately it doesn't seem to be good news. So before we get started with this video, may I remind you to also check out Angry Guy at Rumble, where he doesn't hold back in his cussings. He cusses like a sailor. And yeah, he has some exclusive live streams there too that would not be live streamed on YouTube. Also, check out the Angry Crypto Academy if you want to learn how to invest into cryptocurrency and know which coins we will recommend you to actually invest in. So yeah, all that in the description below. You can check it out for yourself. Let's get started with this video. So this commentary is going to be another video from Omni Arch TV. So let's see what he has to say about the bad news about game key cards in the US. I'm not looking forward to this, I'll be honest with you.
Nintendo is still trying to convince us that people who want to buy their games physically are okay with some of the games being empty cartridges in a plastic case, but Amazon just revealed something really interesting. We are 3 months into the launch of the Switch 2, and while Nintendo is pushing game key cards as if they're the future of physical media, the sales charts reveal an entirely different story. Amazon just exposed the truth, and it is hilariously bad. At this point, Nintendo's still standing by game key cards feels almost as out of touch as when Blizzard announced Diablo was coming to mobile and then stood on the stage and said, "What's the matter? Don't you guys have phones?"
Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
Like, bro, you guys are completely missing.
It's not because we have access to the internet all the time now. It's because of gaming preservation. Because the reason why we're pissed off at game key cards as a whole is because many years down the line, we know that Nintendo is notorious of shutting down servers, shutting down eShops and Wii Shop channels and all that stuff, like just a little over 10 years after their inception. So for the Switch 2, like let's just say after 2035 or 2040 or whatever, yeah, maybe it'll last that long. What if after that, right? What if after that, well, Nintendo no longer will support the server, they're gonna shut down all the eShops on Nintendo Switch and Switch 2, and you pop in one of those game key cards, and then it's trying to look for the game on the server, and oops, the server is no longer available, there's no game inside, now it's a useless plastic. Yeah, that's why we're all angry about it. We're angry about future generations not being able to enjoy what we enjoyed, pretty much, because we do care about the progression of this world, the whole progression of this world for future generations, for gaming preservation. So future generations and us getting older, we can still enjoy the game like decades later and not having to deal with all the online dependency out there. Because if we have online dependency that is not our game, we have no control of it. They have the control. And that's not the type of world I want to live in. So yeah, that's why we're all upset about that.
Understanding your core customer base. But in all seriousness, this could actually be bad for Nintendo because they are doubling down on a product that gamers obviously don't want. Game key cards are like a glorified code in the box, and while yes, they are technically better than that, the sales numbers that are coming out are so embarrassing that it's almost as if Nintendo is just ignoring reality to keep game key cards alive. And that is the part that makes no sense. So what exactly is going on here? Why is Nintendo sticking with game key cards when obviously it's failing? Is this just stubbornness, or do we not have enough data yet? Are they eventually going to pull the plug on game key cards? Today we'll dive a little bit deeper to figure that out, but first, what's going on, guys? By the way, if you guys couldn't tell from my last video, I actually moved to a new apartment, and Tiger said you have to like the video. She said you have to, you have no choice. Isn't that right?
Yeah, talking like the cat. Anyway, so the whole premise of the situation is that Nintendo is kind of ignoring the feedbacks from the fans. It's like they don't care about us. That's proof right there that they don't care about what we think as a consumer. They say, oh, buy our stuff and be quiet, or shut up and just buy our products. Shut up and just give us your money. Pretty much that's what they're saying to you. So yeah, I'm not gonna shut up and give you your money. No, I'm gonna talk and ramble, and I'm not gonna give you your money, Nintendo, until you fix this crap. because we don't want game key cards. You have to understand, you guys just want to control what we have. So in the future, yeah, that's what they want. They want that in the future we could buy the same title remastered over and over again at full price. That's what they want us to do. Technically, that's their business strategy. And what goes against their business strategy to take out game key cards, and then they'll have to spend more on making actual different sizes of cartridges like they did with the Switch 1 and then pass it over to the Switch 2. Yeah, the Nintendo we know today is not the same Nintendo as it was before.
This first came to my attention over on Twitter a couple of days ago. Nintendo tweeted, and just like that, the top 10 best-selling Switch 2 games on Amazon are all real physical releases, no game key cards.
I never even knew about the existence of Yuka Replayly. I never knew the existence. As for everything else, yes, I knew about it. So Kirby Air Rider's not out yet, so I think it's like the number of pre-orders and stuff. So as you already know, every first-party games from Nintendo are completely game on the disc. Cyberpunk is complete game on the disc, and those Switch 2 editions of games like Story of Season and the Rune Factory game and stuff like that, yes, they're all game on the disc. Rather they be, you know, Switch 1 versions, or they have an expansion of some sort, I don't know. So the point is that what's selling the most right now is those game on the cartridge, the ones that are fully on the cartridge and you have to download gigabytes and gigabytes of storage. So I say to myself, how come you don't just follow where the money is going? Like, why are you so desperate to get keycard when it's selling poorly? It's selling so bad right now. Nintendo, you make no sense right now with that. Just like he says, you don't make any sense.
Replayly broke into the number 2 spot. Thanks for keeping it real. Now, this was posted on August 28th, but this is no longer the case. It is no longer the case that the top 10 best-selling Switch 2 games on Amazon are physical releases, but it's really close. If we take a look at the updated data here, this is as of September.
Are you telling me that Yuka Replayly is a game key card? But I'm not seeing it right here. Look at the game itself. Does it say game key card at the bottom? So if it doesn't say game key card at the bottom, I would assume that's completely on the cartridge.
At 2 p.m. we can see that the best sellers for Nintendo Switch 2 games are of course Donkey Kong Bonanza, Kirby, and the Forgotten Land, which is actually kind of insane. We'll talk about that in a minute. Kirby Air Riders, this is obviously a pre-order. Yuka Replayly is a pre-order as well. Then we have Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar, this is the premium edition. Then we have Cyberpunk 2077, of course. We have Super Mario Party Jamboree, Mario Kart World, Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar, the regular edition. Then we have Madden NFL 26 being the first game key card in the top 10. So the number,
you want to know why I think Madden is in the top 10 even though it's a game key card game? Because there hasn't been a Madden game for a Nintendo console in like 10 years. Like, it's always been a PlayStation and Xbox thing. There hasn't been a Madden game on a Nintendo console since I think Madden 13 on the Wii U. Because I don't recall ever seeing a Madden game on the Switch 1. I don't remember ever seeing Madden there, but I've seen like other sports games on Switch 1, but just not Madden. I don't know, I could be wrong.
Number 10 spot is a game key card. Number 11 spot we have Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and then number 12 would technically be Sonic Shadow Generations, which is another game key card. So what exactly can we learn from this information? Well, of course, anybody who looks at this for 2 seconds can realize that of the top 11 best-selling games, 10 of them are full games on the cartridge. Does that tell the full story though? Maybe. It might tell the full story, but let's take a closer look here. Okay, first of all, we've got a lot of first party titles. Okay, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Kirby Forgotten Land, Air Riders, Mario Party Jamboree, Mario Kart World, and Tears of the Kingdom. So 6 of the top 11 best-selling games on the Switch 2 are first party titles. So then the question becomes, did people buy those games because they're game on the cartridge, or did they buy them because they're first party titles? And I think the answer is pretty obvious. They bought them because they're first party titles. Like, what are we talking about, right? How do we know that that's the reason? Well, the best selling Switch 2 console is the one bundled with Mario Kart World. So we know that the average consumer doesn't care that their copy of Mario Kart World is digital. They don't act.
And it's not only that, because if you buy Mario Kart World with the bundle for $500, yeah, so the bundle without Mario Kart World is $450, and then the one with Mario Kart World is $500. So there's only like a $50 difference. And Nintendo, being stupid, actually pricing Mario Kart World for $80 instead of like $60 or $50 or so. Yeah, I would say it should have been worth $60, right? For a physical copy. Then I guess $50 for the digital copy with the bundle, I guess. I mean, there's a $30 difference between the bundle of Mario Kart World that comes with Switch 2 over the physical edition of Mario Kart World, still being at $80 to this day. So, of course, a lot of people are not gonna care about not having the physical because, like, they're getting a better deal just buying the bundle. And that's the bundle that's still being all over stores right now, I believe. It's that one. It's the one with Mario Kart World.
Physically have something in their hands for Mario Kart World. Now, lots of people did actually end up buying it physically, but for a majority of Switch 2 owners, they're totally fine with Mario Kart World being a digital version, which means people are generally okay with their games being digital, even if they're first-party titles. So I think realistically, a majority of these games are the best sellers because they're Nintendo games. They're first-party games, that's clearly the case. Even if these were code in the box, I still think that these games would find themselves in the top 11 best-selling games for the console so far. But the other games on the list tell a totally different story, and that is that when it comes to third-party releases, gamers are more likely to buy the actual physical edition if the game is actually in the box. Can you believe that? Is that shocking to anybody? I don't think that's really that shocking, right? I know for me personally, I wanted to buy Sonic Shadow Generations, so I did. I bought it on the PS5 because, I mean, why would I not?
And I would buy it on the Switch 1 myself because it's completely on the cartridge. It's not a game key card. So I'm better off getting the Switch 1 version or PS4 or PS5 version of it because they're all completely on the disc or cartridge. But for some reason, they cannot do that with the Switch 2 version. It just doesn't make sense. They're just trying to save a lot of costs on game key cards because they're so much cheaper and stuff. And they get attracted to that. But then, yeah, they're not getting as much sales because most people just want on the disc or on the cartridge. So, which one you think is better in the long run?
Game is here. The game is in my hands. It's on the disc here. And also, this was the day one edition, which has Robotnik's journal here. And so I can only speak for myself, but as somebody who has a bunch of physical games here, when I'm presented with the choice of buying the third-party game on PS5 versus Switch 2, I'm gonna buy the one where the game is physically in my hands. So I don't think it's that unreasonable that other gamers might be doing the same thing that I'm doing. They're just gonna say, okay, if I'm gonna buy a third-party game, if I have another console that I can play it on and the game is fully there, I'm just gonna buy it there. Now, before we talk about whether or not Nintendo is gonna pull the plug on game key cards over the next couple of months, I quickly want to touch on the fact that Kirby and the Forgotten Land, the Nintendo Switch 2 edition with Star-Crossed World, is the second best-selling game for the Switch 2 on Amazon.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually happy about that because Kirby and the Forgotten Land was pretty much the best-selling Kirby game of all time. So following up with Star-Crossed World, and I do want to play that portion of the game at some point. Yeah, I do want to play it. It's just that, well, it's only on Switch 2, it's not on Switch 1, and I think that that could have been a Switch 1 game as well. But besides the point, yeah, so the top 3 best-selling games other than Donkey Kong is Kirby. There's no Mario in there, right? The Mario Kart World is number 8. Mario Party Jamboree is number 7. It's like Mario is not the center of attention now. Now Donkey Kong and Kirby, they both took in their stage from Mario for a while. And like, yeah, this is Kirby and Donkey Kong and we are better than Mario right now. Yeah. Well, I guess it's also because there's no actual good 3D Mario games coming out anytime soon for Switch 2. So I guess we're gonna have to wait a while for that. And Mario Kart World was supposed to be number 1. It's because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is number 1 best selling of all time on Switch 1. Why isn't Mario Kart World the best? Well, if you look through a lot of the negativity surrounding Mario Kart World and how it's dying and everything, well, I think you know what I mean. So yeah, GG for Kirby, honestly. Kirby Air Riders and Kirby the Forgotten Land plus Star-Crossed Worlds. You know I'm a big Kirby fan. You know I gotta get the Switch 2 at some point. When? Not sure. But I'm just saying that at least, you know, Kirby's taking the spotlight here. And they're not game key cards, thankfully.
Which is kind of insane. Now, I know the lineup isn't that crazy, and clearly Mario Kart World was bundled, so that's why that's not higher. But, like, this is a glorified port of a Switch 1 game. And, of course, it's got some extra content here, but, like, it's $80. This isn't it, bro. It's an $80 game for the Switch 2, and it's
yeah, $80. And then the factor of the matter is these game key cards, they don't sell because we don't own them. and then they're trying to push us into an old digital future. They're going to force us so we don't own nothing and be happy, but we could push back with cryptocurrency. Yes, definitely check it out, because I think that this is a great way to combat against the old digital future. There's a way for you to own your own asset, have full control of it, have full responsibility of it, and don't let others control it for you. Take it away, Angry. Let's see what this whole crypto academy is.
Hey guys, in a world pushing you to own nothing and be happy, crypto is your key to survival. Join Angry's Crypto Academy to master buying, selling, and trading crypto. Make huge profits and safeguard your wealth. Plus, discover the one crypto virtually no one is talking about, poised to create new millionaires in the upcoming bull run. The link is in the description of the video below. Go check it out now.
Every Nintendo Switch 2 game, Bravely Default, game key card. Hitman, game key card. Hogwarts Legacy, game key card. Madden, game key card. Street Fighter, game key card. Yakuza, game key card. Sonic, game key card. Star Wars Outlaws in the back. Yeah, it's on a game key card. All of these joints are on the game key card, bro. What's up with the physical media? I mean, game key cards left and right, bro.
Okay, so let's continue on with this commentary here, guys.
Not even a Switch 2 game, it's a Switch 2 edition. This is like, why are people paying $80 for this? On top of that, we have Mario Party Jamboree, also $80, coming in at number 7. An $80 Switch 1 game. Why are people buying this? Hello? Now, of course, Mario Party Jamboree being number 7, I mean, the game didn't even sell as well as Cyberpunk, and Cyberpunk didn't sell that well either, right? I mean, we look at the Famitsu sales data for Super Mario Party Jamboree, and it's not that impressive, right? Like, just because it's in 7th place doesn't mean it's like flying off the shelves. Like, it's really not selling that well. But like, Kirby and the Forgotten Land is selling pretty well, which is kind of insane. We should have the data for that maybe next week. But like, I don't know, the reason I'm pointing this out is because everyone said that no one would buy the $80 games, and here we see multiple $80 games in the top 10. So it's like, and that includes Mario Kart World, by the way, right? Like,
Yeah, because Nintendo fanboys and the Nintendo hardcore fans, if they make good money, they don't care if it's $80. They just want to play the game. They don't care about the price. They don't care about if other people can afford it or not. No, they say, oh, $80, well, it's a little bit more pricier. Some people will say that, but they'll still buy it anyways because they really want to play the thing. Nintendo fans, they're so loyal that they will pay any price so they can enjoy their favorite game. So that's the big reality of it. If you and I cannot afford it because it's so much and we wish they could lower, well, we're in the minority here, unfortunately.
yeah, I don't know. We have an $80 Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, right? Like, people kept telling me $80 games are going to be the death of the console, and some of the best selling games are the $80 games, so I don't know. But anyway, let's get back on topic and talk about, are we going to see Nintendo pull the plug on game key cards? Well, we know, and if you've been following the channel for the last couple of weeks, we've been reporting on this, okay? So if you don't want to miss these news reports as they come out, subscribe down below. But one of the things you may have missed is that the Switch 2 cards may be getting more storage options, reducing the need for game key cards. Micronix, a Taiwanese firm that apparently handles Nintendo's cartridge needs, reportedly stated that more storage options are on the way. This was just reported about a month ago. The initial report says the storage solutions company recently shared that its ROM products are, quote, primarily used in Nintendo Switch game cartridges, end quote, and that in the future it will use in-house MLC and NAND and outsourced 3D NAND components to provide, quote, varying capacity requirements, end quote, for these cards. Given that different storage capacities already exist for the Nintendo Switch cards, it could be inferred that the aforementioned statement is talking about something similar becoming available for Switch 2 cards going ahead. So basically what this report is saying is that right now, the only available Switch 2 game card option is 64 gigabytes, right? And that's why we see so many game key cards, because first of all, it's expensive to buy an actual Switch 2 cartridge from Nintendo for these third-party companies, but also if the game is significantly smaller than 64 gigabytes, then it might not be worth spending that money. And
Yeah, so this is what's going on. Like, these cards right now, there's only one option, 64 gigabytes. I am glad that there are some people confirming little by little that there are in development of these wider range of storage capacity for Switch 1 cartridge. There could be 8 gigabytes, 60 gigabytes, 32 gigabytes, and beyond. There could even be 128 gigabytes for the super big game. You just never know. I'm just saying that there's always a possibility, and why not? Because we have micro SD card that can go up to 1 terabyte in the storage at this point. There could go to 256 gigabytes, 512 gigabytes. So if it's possible on micro SD card, I'm thinking that at some point they could figure out they could make it possible for Switch 2 cartridges as well. Like, they don't need to limit themselves to 64 gigabytes or to game key card. That just cannot stay that way. And a lot of people knows it. And yeah, Nintendo's overcharging for the 64 gigabyte ones, which only like Cyberpunk kind of took the advantage of, but it didn't sell nearly as well as the first party games, of course, but you get the idea. It's just that we need those storage capacity so we could see more games coming out that's completely on the cartridge and not game key cards, because nobody wants game key cards. Barely no one wants it. Like, I sure don't want it. I'm not gonna buy any game key cards if I ever get a Switch 2.
Likewise, if the game is more than 64 gigabytes, well, these third-party companies have no choice. They have to use a game key card because there's no other option. That if they want a physical copy on the shelf, it has to be a game key card. So it's nice to see that this could be changing according to Macronix, because again, they already make multiple sizes of Switch cards, and so the same company saying they're working on more storage sizes for Nintendo, it's like,
that's really good to hear, because there are third-party companies that are actually developing different capacity of Switch 2 cartridges that you could put different indie games and all that stuff on the cartridge. And then when we see these developing just like they are with the Switch 1, we are gonna see more indie games coming out and completely on the cartridge, not a game key card that you have to download from the internet. And if you don't have internet at the moment, well, the game key card is pretty much useless, so what's the point of it, right?
okay, well, that can only mean one thing, and it must be that there's more storage sizes coming for the Switch 2. Now, they could be releasing larger sizes, right? So that way the Call of Duties can put themselves on a game card and actually have the full game there, but it's still going to require a 100 gigabyte download if that ever does happen, right? So I don't know. But the point is, it seems like between that and Nintendo releasing surveys asking customers and players if they like game key cards, it seems like Nintendo is trying to maybe gear up for a switch, no pun intended, to full games on the cartridge. At least that's what I am hoping. I am optimistic that that is going to happen, but hey, who knows? But here's another thing we have to consider. We've all been talking about game key cards versus physical cards, but nobody's talking about physical cards versus digital downloads. And I think that is really what we need to be focusing on, because I think it's reasonable to assume that if a consumer is willing to buy a game digitally, like straight up download, then they also simultaneously wouldn't be that bothered by buying a game key card, right? I mean, if the issue is ownership, well, at least a game key card, you can sell it to GameStop or sell it on eBay, right? Like whoever has the key card actually gets the license to play the game. And so effectively you can still sell it, give it to a friend, whatever the case might be, right? So I mean, there's advantages to game key card over digital. Not to say it's better, of course. Digital typically has faster load times and the convenience of not having to leave your home, right? So like, I'm not here to say that game key cards are just objectively better, but there are advantages, right? And so one of the things that we can assume is that if a consumer is okay with digital only, I should say, then they're not really worried about physically owning the game, right? They don't really care about like actual ownership of the copy in their hands.
Yeah, so I think that both physical and digital should still be here to stay. They should coexist with each other so that everyone has a choice. And the choice will be if you want a physical or you want a digital. So the game key card is like in the middle of both. It's like you have a physical cartridge, but it's actually a downloadable game and you need to access the internet in order to get it on your Switch 2 and stuff. So, you know, that's like a happy medium right there. There's like a fusion of both physical and digital, but it's not really a physical cartridge. Like from the get-go, you have to download data from the internet in order to make it seem that way, but it's not really on the cartridge still. So if you want to put on another Switch 2, you have to download that same data once again, and you get the idea. It's a mess. So I would prefer it just being digital or just being physical. But digital, you still you know, you own the license to play the game, but you don't own the full rights to the game. Or like if one day the servers go down, you won't be able to download or re-download the game. I don't know. I think you can re-download certain digital games that you already download on the 3DS eShop and stuff, but I'm not sure about that. What do you guys think? Anyways, I'm gonna end the video here. You can watch the rest of the video in the description below. So I say that there is bad news that Nintendo still wants to hog the game key card. They want it to last for throughout the whole generation. It seems to be they are very stubborn when it comes to like people going against the game key card, but they still want it anyways because it benefits their bottom line. But at the same time, there are third-party companies developing new different storage on the cartridge as well. So hopefully more third-party developer will go to that than the key cards when they do come in existence. So yeah, what do you guys think of the commentary? Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts. I would like to get your opinion on this whole thing. And like I said again, be sure to check out Angry Guy at Rumble as well, where there are exclusive live stream that he doesn't hold back on his curses, whatever he has freedom of speech, and like he gets to express himself the way that he wants. And also check out the Crypto Academy as well if you want to learn how to invest in cryptocurrency, learn which cryptos are actually recommended for you to invest in. And yeah, that'll be Magbo Gaming Says. I hope you enjoy the hunt. Good luck on finding the game that you're looking for in any consoles. And yeah, check out my channel at Magbo Gaming if you want to check out more stuff on my game collection, me hunting down video games, and everything in between. Anyways, I'll see you all in the next one. Magbo out. Bye bye.